My name is Rick Bass. I'm here from Montana to read at the Iowa Writers Workshop. Sometimes I get asked about the difference between fiction and nonfiction. I write a lot about both, and I get asked how do I choose the two genres. I get asked a lot of the other familiar ones like how much money do you make, stuff like that. I do have a favorite quiet place. It's my home in the Yak Valley up in northwest Montana. It's at the edge of a marsh in my old writing cabin, and it is it's incredibly conducive to creating an inner quiet. I mean, in my mind, when I recall it, it's a quiet place physically, but actually, literally, it's not. You're always hearing some small little stirring or bird sound or splashing going on in the marsh, so it's not silent, but it is very quiet. The hardest environmental circumstance that I've encountered getting work done is sometimes I'll stay with my dad in Houston, and he still lives there. It's where I grew up, and I'll be working in his home, and they're big on leaf blowers down there. It's tough to write with a leaf blower going, but you do what you have to do. I've never been asked that. I was not dreading, I was panicking, thinking that the question was, in the old days. Right now I am going back to my old foundations of Doug Peacock and Terry Tempest Williams, who are admirable as writers, as artists, and as activists and as friends. Just the personal integrity and courage they have to love the environment as much as they do, and seeing it delaminating and continue to push on and not be made mad by it. They're real foundation for me right now, again, as they were some time ago. I'm reading an interesting book. I can't remember the title of it though. So those two right now, yeah. Yeah, the best way for me to recharge my batteries is being out in the woods, getting home in the Yak, going for long hikes, breaking a sweat, yeah. Is there a word or phrase that I always cut from drafts? Probably. I can't think of it right now. I would have to have the notebook and be working it. There are probably a couple. There are a lot that I should cut and I don't, but they get cut for me. That wasn't your question. There's probably something in there that I cut. I've got some great editors, but I try and make it a little easier for them before they get it, but they still have a lot of work to do. I'm very interested in conservation biology and its metaphors, cell biology, neurobiology, evolutionary biology, and trying to build stories around that research that just don't state it explicitly, but incorporate those elements and tenets. It's a tough go because it's pretty dry stuff. It excites me. Cloning, the signature, this little, almost like a little watermark on cells, stem cells that are being pulled from non-embryonic sources, and yet are unable to quite, very dangerous in replication in case they have some mutation in them that will get, or some mutation is caused by the extraction. It's fascinating to me, as is the process of making steel. I've been reading a lot about that, and I'm really reading a lot of history and being fascinated by it. There's just so much. I'm not, worry a little bit about time ticking out, that I won't have time to learn something with the depth that I've learned past things and be able to use it in the next books, next novels. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming at us every day. No, I don't. There's a spiritual dimension in, the business of living, and writing is, under that umbrella. But when I sit down to write, it's not a very spiritual endeavor. It's pretty selfish and just trying to do the best I can. But I'm not, I wouldn't call it spiritual. It can be confused or read as spiritual. It can be but it's not in me when I'm making it, when I'm writing it. I'm not sure, I just know that I am one. You know, so many of us have tried to not write, to give up writing, to take a break from writing, to just, you know, it's a labor-intensive and spirit-intensive process, and you ought to rest up and restore, recharge, and then hit it again. And the circumstances of my life have rarely, if ever, allowed that, and so I just keep writing even when I don't want to. And that's, you know, publishability, quality of work has nothing to do, in my definition, of what a writer is. It's someone who has made his or her peace with that 98 to 2% ratio of unsatisfying grunt labor to momentary gratification, and has made his or her peace with it, and continues to you know, labor onward, knowing that even that 2% diminishes across time until essentially you approach a state of purity where you, regardless of publishability or acclaim, you keep working, and you learn to treasure the challenges and obstacles and failures, or not treasure, but make your peace with it, and you keep on going. Not a lot of folks like that, but I've met some and really admire them.